back, everybody. Today we're going over this Tristar T120 pistol that you see right here. Certainly at first glance it appears that it does have a CZ75 heritage to it, which it certainly does, and we'll get into that in a lot more detail coming up in the review. But this pistol here has been imported by Tristar Arms. However, it's made in the Canik factory. So I believe I have currently, as it stands in my safe, 5 different pistols that come out of that factory over in Turkey. They make all the guns for the Turkish military as well as several other militaries throughout NATO, and they have a really good reputation for making quality guns. Everything I've seen from them so far seems to back that up, and this offering from Tristar is no exception to that. So what we're going to do is a little bit more shooting and then take a close look at some details of it, what make this pistol the unique T120 variant that it is, and then I'll let you know what we think of it at the end. So that's just coming up next, guys. I suppose we'll start out on the front of the pistol and work our way back. You can see it does have that distinctive cut in there, very reminiscent of some of the baby Eagles that were imported a few years ago. It doesn't really do a whole lot functionally. It does lighten it up a little bit. Speaking of lightening it up, it is an aluminum frame with a forged steel slide. Comes in right under 30 ounces unloaded. That's with the magazine. So that's one of the things they did to lighten the pistol up a little bit. They also put these cuts that you can see here if you take a look at the top of the slide. So they removed a little bit of weight off there, off that forged steel slide, so that way that lightens it up as well. It's a really well balanced pistol, no doubt about it, and it still shoots relatively soft due to the CZ type inspired design, which gives you a very low bore access, which you can see right here. So if you get a nice high grip on there, my camera will focus, you can see it does sit very low down in your hand, giving you relatively low muzzle flips. So that's certainly a good thing. And looks like we moved a little bit away from the front of the gun and got a little bit ahead of ourselves, but we'll get back on track. Up here on the front, we do have a plain white sight, and they do have 3-dot sights. Now, speaking of the sights, some of the parts in this gun are going to be interchangeable with other CZ variants. Other parts aren't. For a full list, I definitely recommend checking with Tristar. However, I can tell you the sights are interchangeable with a lot of the CZ sights out there. So if you have sights that are going to fit your CZ75s, they will fit this gun. So that's certainly a good thing. On the underside of the frame, you'll see these 2 cuts in there, and those are 1913 compatible rails. They look a little bit shallow when you first look at them. I was concerned that they may be a little bit out of spec, but they're not. All the different lights and lasers, accessories, etc. that we put on there have worked just fine, locked up very tight and securely, so no issues there at all with that if you want to mount a light or a laser or a combination on there. Here we have our controls on the back of the pistol, and you'll note, taking a look at it from the top there, they do stick out a good bit. So there's pros and cons to that. The advantage of it, in my opinion, is they're very easy to actuate. Actuating that slide lock and slide stop, if I put the safety off, very easy. You can do it with one hand without having to shift your hand, which is certainly a nice thing. Same thing here with the safety. They engage positively, come off very easily. Now, the downside of that is that if you're trying to concealed carry the pistol, it's going to add a little bit of width there. That said, this is kind of a full-size gun. I don't see a lot of people conceal carrying it, but if you do, that's just something you have to keep in mind. Those controls are also only on the left side of the pistol to include the mag release, which is very positive. Kicks that mag out with authority. Speaking of mags, it does come with 2 17-round Mechgar mags, and they are interchangeable with any CZ, at least CZ75B magazines that I've seen out there. But these ones are real high quality. I'm always talking about how I'm a fan of Mechgar mags. They seem to just always work, and these ones are no exception. We've had no problems with them at all. Now, if you look over here on the right side of the pistol, it's nice and flat. Definitely something a lot of people are going to like. Generally speaking, right-handed shooters anyway, so nothing to get caught up or snagged on anything, and leaves your controls over here on the left side. The grips that the gun comes with are actually pretty nice for a gun in this budget. A lot of the earlier CZ knockoffs have had really poor grips that I'm just not a fan of at all, but these ones aren't too bad. They have the cutout there so you can reach your mag release on the left-hand side. decent texturing all the way around. However, it is a CZ75 variant, so there are lots of aftermarket grips available for it, including these Hogue G10 Piranha grips. These things here obviously look great. I'm a big fan of the Piranha grips. They give a good grip texture, but they're not too abrasive and they're not going to hurt you, but give you a positive grip on the pistol. So definitely a fan of those, and one of the many benefits of having a clone type of gun, if you will. Getting into the trigger system, this one here is very similar to a CZ75B model, which we'll show you here in a second because it does have that firing pin block. Now, in the hammer down position, you can engage the safety. So you can carry it like that and then engage in double action. However, it's designed to be carried, cocked, and locked like that. And with the hammer cocked and the safety locked up, that's how it's designed to be carried. So it is capable of firing in single action from that mode. And again, if you have a light primer strike or if you just want to carry it in double action, you can fire in double action. Now, if you wanted to do that, there's no decocker, so you'd have to manually lower the hammer, which I'm generally not a big fan of lowering a hammer on a live round, but we'll leave that call up to you. It is an option. Double action pull is pretty heavy. It's actually over the limits of my trigger gauge. I'm guessing right around 10 to 11 pounds. So this one here only goes up to 10, and we'll show you what the trigger action and single action looks like. And that one there broke just under 6 pounds, which is pretty consistent as what I've been getting. And again, those of you familiar with the 75Bs, very similar overall to that as well. And one thing that you can feel in the trigger is that there's all metal parts engaging. Those of you guys that like hammer fired guns are going to like that. So it's very consistent pull, not a whole lot of creep at all. You get a little bit of play here. As soon as it hits that wall, trigger breaks, has a nice audible tactile reset. Disassembling the pistol is pretty simple overall. You just pull the hammer to half cock there, and at that point you can line these little lines up here on the slide, take the magazine, and I like to just kind of hit the slide stop over. You can pull up on it, pull it out, your slide will come right off. Again, this is a CZ75 variant, so the slide rides inside the frame like that, which we already mentioned keeps the bore axis really low and does feel good in the hand. Take that out, you'll notice it is a non-captive spring, and you do have a steel guide rod. Additionally, the barrel here is cold hammer forged. It does have a nice polished feed ramp in there for reliability. The pistol's been 100% reliable with any loads we put through it. Of course, the majority have been the Minuteman munition stuff, but we put some hollow points through there as well. I believe Federal HSTs and Spear gold dots with 0 issues. Inside of the slide and frame actually look really good. There's not a lot of machine marks. Really, I don't think there's any machine marks, at least not that I can see right now. So again, for a pistol in this budget, it certainly is nicely finished. Now you can see the wear coming off there. This pistol here is Cerakoted. This is a, I believe, titanium Cerakote they call it. And it's starting to wear. That's just good, honest use. Nothing wrong there. We can put our barrel back in there. And to finish the reassembly, we're going to put our spring and guide rod in there. You'll note it does have a very similar locking mechanism to a lot of the Browning high powers and other John Browning inspired pistols. So I'll line that up. And again, we're just going to line those 2 little notches up there. The pistol's reassembled. The big variable on pistols for me, obviously, is going to be reliability, which we covered with 100%. So we've had no issues with it at all, as you'd expect out of a CZ75 variant. So definitely a good thing. There's some things I really like about the pistol. The reliability, the price. I looked around today online before shooting this video, and it looks like these are available a lot of different places online for under $400 shipped. So that's a very good price, obviously, for this kind of quality pistol. Like we said, it's the forged steel, cold hammer forged barrel. Really nice fit and finish on both the slide and the slide in the frame. Everything works as it should. Controls work positively. Everything engages as it should. And again, the aftermarket support really is going to be there really well for this pistol. So overall, not really a whole lot bad to say about it. If there's one thing I'd change, I'd put a little bit more checkering up here on the front instead of the lines, but I mean, that's kind of nitpicking at this point. For the price point, it's hard to complain. But if you guys have any questions about the pistol that we didn't cover throughout the review, by all means, post below in the comments section. We'll also put Tristar's website over there so you guys can take a look at that if there's any sort of specs or anything like that that we left out. But as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we hope to see you in the next video.